There, going to go through some more of the games from Team 45 League. And we have the F pawn going up, birds opening. Okay, so white's controlling E5, black is just developing his pieces. Games, basically it's even. Now, here it looks like black is doing this to preserve his bishop. In a way, it's smart to just develop here. Okay, let me give you an example. See, we don't know if white's going to do this. We don't know. There's no way to tell. The only way you find out is play this move. So now suppose here. Okay, now black does have attacking chances against the white king now, and black is even ahead in development slightly. Let's see, give you an example. Okay, white's moved nothing on the queen side, so he needs a few moves to get that done. Now let's just for the fun of it, let's fianchetto this bishop. Okay, I'm gonna make some developing moves. Okay, so black has got everything in play. Even this rook is in play because it's pointed down here. Okay, white still has to bring his queen into play. So if he wants it off the back rank, he's got to, either move this bishop out of the way or advance this pawn so his queen can come up. So, black is doing fine here. So sometimes just developing pieces instead of reacting to what your opponent might do is a good course of action. Now, we'll never know if that was white's plan, but he probably doesn't want to play this because he just sees this bishop going back here. Okay. So here, white is setting up a little trick. His idea is that if knight takes, pawn takes, and suddenly black has two pieces in trouble. Can't save them both. So as long as black is careful, he'll be fine here. He could play queen d6. Okay. He does. So now white has to justify, why he's spending this time with this development, or neglecting his development, I should say. Why is he neglecting these guys over here? All right. So does white want to play g4 and chase that bishop? Does he want to play bishop b5 and force some double pawns? Well, neither of those moves address what should be going on the queen side, and that is getting those pieces into play. Because so far, white's playing with half his army. Okay, so d4, a stonewall formation. White gives up control of this square permanently. So maybe white wants to try to get this and this in. I don't know. Black should just continue with his development. He might even consider a tactical idea g5. It's probably a little early to play g5, but it has some points to it. Okay, for instance, takes. Suddenly, this file opened up after all. And now, oh wait, we can't do this. I apologize. That drops this. Okay, so we got to play e6 first. Okay, so e6 guarding the bishop. And he did play the x. I want to enlarge this board. There we go. Bring this up a little bit. Okay, so the bishop is safe, and now maybe this has some merit to it. Let's see what happens. Okay, white to play now. I click the dot and it's not moving. That means I have lag. Oh no, I know why. He didn't play that move. Okay. 1 second. Okay, now this is not wise. Okay, we've got to develop our pieces. I just had this in another game. White's going to play here. We know that. Okay, so let's look at my idea. Now none of this is forced, but we're just going to try to make reasonable moves for both sides. Now Is white trying to do the stone wall? I don't know. Let's try it. But here comes my idea. Now, he doesn't have to take this, but if he does, suddenly white's got a little pressure down here on e5, and if he stops to take this, there's a good chance he's going to get checkmated here in the very near future.
Check.
Let's see.
Check.
Ouch.
Checkmate.
Now, I mean, again, this isn't forced, but we're looking at ideas. So, okay, so let's see. I was playing e6. Now, c3, g5. So he shouldn't be taking on g5 probably. So white needs some development. Let's put this knight here. Let's try to reinforce this knight up here. Now, what should black do? Well, let's, maybe we have something going here. Let's do this. And now we've got an open G file, right? Okay, black to play. Let's castle. Okay, now this is thematic of things that white likes to do in this opening. Okay, now white's going to be starting a pawn storm eventually. Or he should be. And black has already accomplished this. He's got an open file. And what's going to happen here? Well, we don't know. They're going to play chess. Okay. Black can grab this e4 square for his knight, or even drop his bishop in there. But notice how I've got pretty much black's army is developed, with the exception of this bishop. Put the bishop on e7, swing the rook over, that rook over, and maybe shove this rook pawn up a little bit while white is busy prepping his. Black has a clear plan, and whoever coordinates the forces the best is going to come out on top. See, I don't see how this move helps black's game at all. Okay, this bishop isn't out. Now, white's going to see this. Now, unless I'm just blind. Now, white has another option here. He can play bishop check, and after c6, drop the bishop back to e4, or a4, and everything's covered. Let's see what white does. He did play that. That's the automatic. And, we can expect when we make threats like that, their opponent's going to see them. Okay, we want to play 2100, 2500 moves. Grandmaster moves. We want to play strategy. We don't want to make the threat that we know is going to be defeated. Now, this is an interesting point. I've mentioned this in a few videos, and I just mentioned it here.
Check.
Let's look at this check for a second. I'm not saying it's the best move, but I want to make a point. In my experience, almost every time that one can do this check, or on the other side of the board, if you're attacking a queen, if your opponent can block with a pawn, it's almost always the wrong move. Now, the only exception I've found is when you're using this bishop to come back and protect c2. Okay, now the idea works. So this was an alternative for white. What does this do? Well, it opens up a diagonal for the queen. Okay, and we're still and we don't have to worry. We can play c3 and the knight can't pop into d3 because we're going to take it, or we can just develop the knight to c3 and bring him over to e2 and g3, or we could put him on d2 and f3, and we didn't have to stop and put this knight on the side of the board. The price we pay is we've sent this bishop over, but it's a strategy. Try it out. Okay. And what's this? What is this? If you want to stop knight b5, just play here. Are you worried about this knight has to come back here? I don't know. I mean, it's like, now this becomes a good move for white, and drive that back whence he came. And he decides to go there instead. Let's leave this here. Okay, he's got bigger fish to fry. He's planning to play c5 and force that queen to go back to d8. So what's black going to do here? He's going to allow it. And he doesn't push c5. I don't know. I mean, probably don't want to put the queen here. It's in the way of the bishop. Now, I'm not saying white's getting anywhere here, but let's see. What if black... No, we can't do that. I want to move this knight somewhere, and the only open square is back here. That just allows this. I wanted to try to trap this knight, but we can't do it. Okay, so so he played here, but at least he's developing a piece. But I guess this has a threat. The threat is to chase the queen and then take the knight. So, we'll give him credit. He's got a threat. And, so what's changed in black's position in the last several moves? That's what's changed. In the last 4 moves, that's the only change in black's position. What's changed in white's position? Well, this knight's gone here. This bishop's gone here. This pawn has gone here. And it's white's turn. So white's gained 2 tempos because of that knight move. 2. So, if we understand the principle to just keep developing and not move a piece twice, we won't give up 2 moves. So, black had, I showed a possibility that black could have set up some attacking chances prepping a g5. And instead, what's he got? What he has is these 2 pawn moves. That's what he's gained. Okay, black's also moving a little quick. The clock is still kind of high. White's taking his time. And white's getting his pieces out. Now, white's got everything developed except the queen. Black still has to move this bishop, get castled, and then do something with his rooks. So white's clearly better off. Now he kicks it back. So that's undeveloped. And now he gives him the double pawns. Now, I might have kept that there. I might not have done this. I'm sure it's okay. But let's see. What else could we do here? What if we play here? Okay, the idea here is we want to win. We're trying to win a pawn directly. And if black plays this, we could take the knight. He takes the queen. We take the queen. Now, if you take with the rook, you're going to drop this a pawn. If you take with the bishop, I have a feeling black is going to lose this pawn. Let's just sneak back here. Okay? And, black can counterattack, but, this comes with check.
Check.
The rules of chess say you got to get out of check, so let's put the knight here. And, we could just play something like b4 here. And white's doing quite well. His pawn ahead. The knight is pinned. Black can't castle. Okay. So, in a hurry to double the pawns. Now, what's this trying to do? Well, the bishop didn't have a great future. Might have considered putting it here and here and just trading it off. So, I don't see exactly what this does except tie the black queen down to the defense. Now, it turns out he didn't want the knight there. That's why my bishop b4 and a4 check might have been a better line. But he could have put the knight on, let's see, here, here, here. By going, it's 3 moves there. It's still 3 moves this way, just a different path. Okay, so now why take that off? I mean, white's indicating he wants to spend his next 3 moves putting this knight here. Maybe black figures this pawn is going to be in trouble down the line. But I don't know. I mean, black would have time to erect a defense or start some counterplay elsewhere. Okay, so now he's sunk the knight in on a great square. And he's reinforced it. Okay, that knight's there for the duration. So, but black has these weak pawns over here. Let's see what happens. So he wants to get this move in, but he has to be careful because that bishop could be loose. And black took his time there, a couple of minutes. So now this idea is to protect the bishop so that he can play this move. And there's my idea about does and moves too late. So, I mean, it's not too late, but maybe I could say it does and moves later. Okay, I'm not too sure if this really helps white. Might want to delay until you get your rook on the b file and maybe even double up on the b file. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go to the d file. Okay, don't understand why he's going to the d file. Oh, I guess maybe he wants to be able to take back and keeps the protection here. But here's why he's playing defense. Is that wise? Why do you want to tie a rook down to defending a pawn? That's a thought that comes into my mind. Let's find a better move. Certainly one exists. Let's see. Well, I think, I've been debating this move, and it's a little tricky, but white should be able to hold on here, and then white's the one with the breaks over here. I don't know. Rook d1, it's satisfactory. Black can't generate anything with it, and black does have a time advantage now. So this is the time he should be taking his time and slowing down. White's going a little past my recommended pace. You should have about 22 minutes at 22, 23 minutes at move 20. Okay, so doesn't threaten anything yet. Well, no, it does threaten this. Doesn't threaten anything this way. Okay, so a little defense. Now clearly he wants to try to generate something on the file. Okay, affords protection here when needed. And a little more protection on a2. Why is he putting the king there? I don't know. I don't know. Now there's a bold move. Okay, I guess it's not all that bold. The idea is if black takes on g4 with its pawn, white will take on e4 twice.
Check. Check.
And now we probably should come back if you want to keep the queens on, and then we can steal this. This is double-edged. Let's see. Check. Who's mating who here? Very, very double-edged. So, I think black should take it. So, what's black done the last two moves? This and this. So, see, here's a key point too. If you find yourself in this situation, it's obvious black took some time here. His clock goes down 1 minute and 7 seconds. So he spent 1 minute and 52 seconds. That's the ideal time. But, because black has this huge time advantage, black could sit here for 20 minutes and still have just as much time as white. Now, I uncovered that line wasn't forced, but I saw it inside of a minute. You know, it looks like our mind says we can't give him this, we can't play this because we're losing a pawn. Okay, we're losing that great knight that we centralized, so we can't do that. But you know, I mean, none of this was forced, granted, but
check, check,
okay. Now it's probably a mistake for white to take this pawn, obviously, but where is white's attack here? You know, he shouldn't even be taking this pawn because this is starting to open him up. And, you know, black controls the dark squares, and white's buried that bishop over there on a5, where all it can do is grab a pawn. Matter of fact, let's just grab it. Okay, now this move is still coming. Okay, now white can push by, but you know, this position is. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why don't I see stuff like this? Okay, laugh at me all you want. Okay, I was trying to activate this bishop, but you know, what's white do here? Let's swing this over here. This makes a little more sense. But you know, gonna play here. Now you want to go grab a couple pawns. You can't grab either one without this falling with check. You want to pile up on this pawn. How are you going to add a second attacker? Okay, let's try this. Clearing this square for the queen. Well, you know, here this goes again.
check,
You know, now black's king is very, very, very safe, or is it? Let's see, we have to cover h5 here. Shouldn't be too difficult. But, you know, black's also a pawn ahead. So I think, you know, black's missed a chance here. And now he doesn't want to be in a discovery. Now he takes. And now the attack is on. This is a threat. Now we can go here. Probably should have put the queen here. No, he doesn't want to go there. What's wrong? What's wrong with this? Oh, I see. Never mind. We have this check again. Okay, well, sometimes I'm slow on things. So white says, if you want to take this, go ahead. It won't be with check. And maybe black should have taken it. Okay, I mean, he can still play this, but, you know, black's got a couple of center pass pawns here. And that white bishop is really out of play on a5. White's not threatening to take here because we'll just liquidate on g2. And, you know, this pawn on h6 will be a goner. You know, it's black's move. He's doing fine here. Let's go attack a pawn. So, you know, and the key point I want to make is black had time to figure this out. You've got to take your time in these games, especially when you have a time advantage. So here I forgot, you know, I guess here he's willing to give up the pawn because he'll get this check and he'll win the bishop. And he desperados that. Now black has achieved two connected pass pawns. Maybe black's okay here. Just queen takes bishop. Let's see what happens. And black still has a huge advantage on the clock.
check,
Now you got to bring the queen back. And now white can grab a pawn if he wants. And he does. So suddenly white's 2 pawns ahead. White has 3 connected pass pawns on the king side. Black has a couple of connected pass pawns in the center. White's starving for open lines for his rooks. There's not a single open line for the white rooks, but there's plenty of open lines for the black rooks. Probably can't afford to lose this pawn, so maybe it's time to play this move. Okay, well, you're attacking this. Maybe Maybe this will work. And then he says, well, if you want to take my rook, I'm going to start getting some checks. King up. It's getting dangerous. Let's see if he takes the rook. No, he didn't. But here, let's. I think the game ended here. So I see this, and oh yeah, you can see why it's over.
Check.
And now white's winning. So is white winning with this?
Check.
It's a good question. He had to give up a rook to do this.
Check.
Oh, look at this.
Checkmate.
Okay, so attacking the rook was the wrong plan. It clearly was time to, well, here, I was suggesting this move. Provides lateral defense to the pawn on c6. And white doesn't have, he has a check.
Check.
Or is that, or put the queen here. Let's see, black to play. White's not getting his rooks in yet. Black doesn't have any threats, but at least he's holding on to what he has left. And, those pawns are going to become strong. Yeah, it's still white's advantage, but black could have defended a little bit better. So here we had even number of pawns, and all of a sudden white's winning 2 pawns. How did that happen? There went 1. It's still 1.
Check.
He lost a pawn there. He lost a pawn there. That did it. Okay, not the greatest game, but certainly not the worst. There was some interesting stuff in there. I want to thank both of you for playing. I'm going to stop the recording.